Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to my weekly Vault video, which is going to be probably the most degenerate, most dopamine that I've got in one of these so far. Even though Diablo came out last week, I managed to get a lot of content done. I did a lot of normal raids, a lot of heroic raids, a lot of keys. A lot of keys on good characters. A lot of friendship ruining keys on bad characters as well, so hopefully it was all worth it. We're going to start off with my warrior. My warrior actually is one of the luckiest characters in the vault so far, in that it got a 447 two-hander out of the vault it opened last week, got like a Voice of the Silent Star from a normal raid the week before. Now I'm really looking for a shield, otherwise I'll craft one. Okay, instead we're offered tier or a verse crit necklace. The tier is somewhat tempting. I don't actually have any tier, though, yet. And this is only normal tier. And the catalyst is going to come kind of soon. Definitely not taking the ring. Definitely not taking this trinket. So I think I'm just going to take the... You know, it's crit as a secondary stat, which is not especially exciting for Prot. It's verse as the primary stat, which is not especially exciting for the DPS specs. But still, I need to upgrade out of this stupid lariat at some point, so... we'll take that necklace and not be too unhappy about it. And a fine start here to our vaults. Happy to not take a socket. Although, it would have been pretty wild to end up taking a socket on a character that has, you know, only 4 pieces of new patch gear on it, despite the fact that those 4 pieces are extremely good. I want to mostly play DPS on that character, but they did just buff Prot Warriors, so maybe I'll actually tank on it, I don't know. Honestly, even if they hadn't buffed it, maybe I still would. I wanted to play Fury because that looks fun, but I'll probably end up doing a lot of tanking on it too. So I probably need to craft myself a shield, so I'm not stuck with last patch shield. All right, here's my main. I'm gonna open in Windwalker. We've got 2 mythic raid slots here, which could see some really good stuff. Sarkareth loot is available. We're gonna see we're gonna see a 450 shoulders. So hard to be unhappy about that. The other option here would be a Verse Haste necklace, but Haste is not a very good stat for Brewmaster. The cloak, but obviously we're not going to take a 441 cloak, because 441 items out of the Mythic Vault are an elaborate prank created by Blizzard Entertainment. But we're going to take the Spines of Vermilion Forge, and that is a sizable upgrade. 450 in the... I mean, the only thing... Like, that's best in slot, right? The only thing that would be better would be Tertiary there, but you can't catalyze into 450, right? So... pretty happy with that. Let's just vendor the old 441 before we accidentally ever equip that. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that slot, but I have frequently accidentally had like 3 item levels lower tier, or 6 item level lower tier in this new system, so I try to always vendor now whenever I get like just an item level upgrade. Okay, so nice upgrade on the monk. No new spark this week, so gotta wait another week before I get another craft on that character, but yeah. By the way, the revival catalyst is not out this week, but I think it's out next week. So a lot of these characters are getting very close to being real. The warrior actually, so the warrior had 0 tier. The monk now has like pretty close to full mythic tier. I think it still has 1 piece of heroic tier, maybe 2. Here's my paladin, which actually has full heroic tier as well. Not necessarily, like I don't have the helmet, I have the chest piece. I have everything except for the helmet. I have even Leech Heroic Pants, which is pretty cool. So this character is reasonably good geared. Got nice heroic weapons, heroic chromatic essence. Kind of not much more that one could really ask for on this character. I'm going to loot in Ret, I think, actually, because I'd like to see a 2-handed weapon, because I don't have one of those, and I want to play some Ret at some point, and I already have 437 upgradable to 441 in weapon and shield. So, let's see a 2-hander. Okay, another Chromatic Essence. Welcome to my Chromatic Essence shop. A Screaming Black Dragon Scale. A Crit Verse necklace. Or a Crit Verse ring. So, the lore behind Prot Paladin is, I think you still want to be Haste Mastery, not Crit Verse. I don't know. We could take a quick look. All right. Let's do our sponsored segment for this stream, which comes to us thanks to the wonderful website u.gg, which has a bunch of great features for World of Warcraft and stuff. You can see It's got some data generated tier lists, some of my favorite stuff. You can see how specs are doing in keys, how popular they are, how much damage they do. But the feature we're going to be looking at that'll be useful for us in this video is actually stat priority. I don't know what the Paladin stat priorities are, and I don't know how good crit and verse are going to be. So I'm going to open up all the Holy Paladin, or all the different Paladin, specs, and accidentally close a tab. That's something you don't want to do. Okay, so Holy Paladin and keys, looks like they're mostly running verse, haste, crit, mastery. In raid, haste, verse, mastery, crit. Okay, I guess that's heroic raid. In mythic raid, yeah, also haste, verse, mastery, crit. Okay, so not a particularly compelling necklace, I guess, from that side of thing. I guess the crit, yeah, not very good. Okay, Prot Paladin. Prot Paladin, haste, mastery, verse, crit. So that's still like I was expecting. So the thing about Prot Paladin, they're tier set this time around, which you can see here. The 4-piece for Prot does have crit scaling, right? Judgment, crit, supply, Heartfire, and can trigger Grand Crusader. But it's not enough to make crit into an exciting stat, it looks like. And let's take a look at Mythic Raid as well. Yeah, still haste, verse, mastery, crit. Surprised actually to see verse starting to overtake mastery here. What about on some of these harder fights? Yeah, even on these harder fights, it looks like people are doing that. Okay, how about Ret Pally, though? Because Ret is something I also like. Verse crit. Okay. Verse crit for Ret. Verse crit for Raid. We may have an argument being made here. All right, thank you to UGG for just one of the many lovely features of the site, a sponsor of today's video. So do go check them out. Link in the description below to click on a link that will help me out as well. So we've got the Tuskar Bone necklace that is crit verse. Those are really good stats for Ret. Or we could take the Screaming Black Dragon scale, which I have a Whispering Incarnate icon right now, and this is a... It's not really a stat stick, it's sort of a stat stick, right? It's like a stat proc trinket, but it is very rare. It would go up to 441. I don't know, I think I'm just going to take the Tuskar Bone necklace. Like, it's not ideal stats for Prot, but it's a lot of stats. I want to upgrade out of this stupid Lariat on this character as well. I don't really want to craft a necklace. On the other hand, you know, Trinket, Trinket might be harder to find. I want like a Beacon of the Beyond or something, I think. I don't think I'm interested in, I don't think I'm too interested in that Trinket, so let's just take the necklace, and again, upgrade that. We'll actually do the socketing and stuff off screen. We got too many characters to get through to do any of that kind of nonsense here. All right, here is my Demon Hunter. Now my Demon Hunter did no, I don't think I did any raid content on this character, but I did do 4 keys, I think. So we've got 2 swings at Mythic Plus loot. The fact I didn't do any raid content means those swings are going to be kind of important. If we don't see a good item from the M Plus rows, we're going to be reasonably sad. Now, the good news is there are a lot of good trinkets we could see. Actually, there's not that many good trinkets we could see. Loot Spec Havoc. Yeah. Trinkets, so most trinkets are probably bad. We're kind of looking to see a belt or a necklace, actually. Pretty thin odds here. We're going to see a crit haste cloak or a crit haste finger. Now, I don't really want to take 4 tokens of merit ever, so I think I'm going to take one of these items. I think I'm just going to... like, I don't think crit is a stat that I'm especially interested in on Havoc or Vengeance. I actually can go... yeah, like Havoc, crit mastery, Vengeance versus haste. So either way, neither of these are going to be too compelling. What can I get with 4 tokens of merit, though? I can't get a socket, right? I could just get a fraction of a socket, or I could get some Worm's Crests, but I think I would just save up for socket at that point. That's kind of unfortunate. I kind of wish I'd done a few bosses, even on like LFR, to just be able to take a socket on this character. That's okay. All right, let's just take the cloak for now. It's got worse stats. It's got more itemable though. Armor, agility, stamina. Yeah, crit's good for damage as well. So, you know, lose a little bit of verse, gain some stamina, gain some damage. Could be a worthwhile exchange. And I think we can catalyze. Oh, I should have seen what cloaks can catalyze into, because at some point this character actually already has 4-piece, so I can just start catalyzing off pieces. And if the tier off-piece cloak is good, then that 447 cloak actually just catalyzes into it, and problem solved there. So we've got a chance at that. I don't know if the new catalyst, Let's see. Season 2 Catalyst Wowhead. Is there a... Maybe there's a page or something where I can see what the off pieces are? There was for... Oh, okay, yeah, here. Demon Hunter. Kinslayer's Shawl. Mastery Haste. Okay. Not super thrilled about that, but... Okay, well, it was a shot. It was a shot we had. Okay, here's my Death Knight. My Death Knight actually has acquired a Beacon of the Beyond somehow, which is pretty good. Got this out of a heroic run I did last week. Loot spec Frost. I have I killed Sarkareth, so I got an Enchanted Worm's Crest. So I got I made myself a 437 weapon, and I'll be able to upgrade this once I get one more Mythic Crest done on this character, which should be pretty easy. So I'm not really looking for a two-hander. So I like opening in Frost, because maybe I'll take a one-hander and, you know, play some Frost with it. Okay, we have a 431 helmet, upgradable to 441, or 447 gloves, obviously catalyzable, or a 447 Haste Mastery necklace. Now, Haste Heavy Mastery necklace is compelling for Blood DK. Haste is a very nice stat. On the other hand, 447 gloves are potentially irreplaceable, whereas a necklace, I could just craft myself a jewel crafting necklace. Now, it won't be as haste heavy as this, right? The thing is, this is over budgeted on haste, right? This is more haste, less mastery. So that's actually really nice. This item might also be this, but if we look at the raid, I don't know if there are gloves that are high item level that you can get. Because gloves are... Let's take a look at the tier situation. Where are the gloves off of? They are off of Forgotten Experiments, right? So they're going to be 444, even if I do a Mythic Raid, which I'm probably not on this character. And then hands. Then the actual gloves you can get... Okay, you can get 450 gloves. So you can catalyze into 450 tier if you're plate. You can't do it. You can do it if you're plate or leather, but you can't do it if you're mail or cloth, interestingly. I think I still want to take and catalyze this 447 gloves, because I don't think killing Mythic Echo of Neltharion is something that's all that likely to happen on this character, at least not for a long time. Whereas, you know, something like crafting a good necklace, I think is pretty feasible in the pretty near future. Like next spark I get. Next spark... So I have one spark in my bags. The next one I get, and that one, are probably both going to make my embellishments, which are going to be 2 Shadowflame patches. And then by the time that's done, I'm going to be able to start crafting into random slots. But I think something like 447 upgradable, catalyzable stuff, like, should be better. I'm now in this unenviable position of having 2 447s stuck in my bags until I get my act together. I guess I probably will just end up using the Spark of Shadowflame to upgrade out of this Ingenuity belt and just make this the 447 and then put like embellished 424 boots or something. I don't know. We'll see. Or I'll just keep playing this character with all my 447s in my bags instead of on the character and see if that's a good strategy. It could be. Nobody's ever tried it before, so somebody's got to be the first. All right. Now here's my druid. I think the last tank that we'll be looking at here is the last good character. But certainly not the last character in today's video. You're looking at the timer on the video, you're like, hang on a second, how is there still so much time in this video? Well, loot spec's gonna be Feral, that sounds good. Don't really want any Boomkin trinkets anymore now that there's no feather to hunt down. Alright. An Ominous Chromatic Essence. I already have one of those, although mine is Champion, so this is +4 item levels on that if I upgrade it fully. The Chest Roots of the Autumn Blaze, a great name for some tier. Or the Bow of the Autumn Blaze, which I already have, so less exciting. The Mutated Mammoth Scale, a 447 M+ trinket, although not an especially good one, I don't think. The Mammoth Scale. That could be another question for the old UGG scan real quick. Just Feral and Guardian. Is anybody using this item? No, of course not so much. I guess trinkets. Yeah, pretty uncommon usage here for M+ for Feral Druid. And of course for Bear. How about in Raid? Yeah, okay, nobody's using this item. I've never seen anybody using this item, so I'm not surprised. so I don't think I'm too interested. Whenever you see a 447 trinket from M+, you got to do a double check to make sure it's not, like, potentially good, because, you know, it's irreplaceable, right? You can't find it except out of the vault, so this is my only chance of this. Parrot Feather Cloak, nice cloak, although I've already committed a spark, actually, to the Spore Cloak, because I actually think this item is kind of broken. I feel like any tank except for maybe DH and DK probably would benefit by crafting this thing. This thing is insane. It's so powerful, actually. I wish I'd crafted one on my monk for progression, actually. I think it would have been really good. But because I've already crafted that, I'm just waiting to get the Aspect Crest to upgrade it. I'm not going to take a cloak. So we're left between 4 item levels on a Chromatic Essence or the Chest Roots of the Autumn Blaze. I'm going to go with the Tear. The Tear is going to be better next week, but it's going to be worse eventually, because eventually I'll catalyze 447 Tear, and I may never see 441 Chromatic Essence. But that's a price I'm willing to live with. Not the end of the world. 4 item levels on this trinket. Versus, I do want to get this 4-piece online. So now I'm in a spot on this character where I have 434 Tear in my bags, and I have 447 pants that are just waiting to get catalyzed as well. So next week, as soon as the catalyst comes out, this character has 4-piece. This week, that means it's probably just going to do like 1 key and kind of chill, because there's not too much more benefit into going into the raid anymore. Because I'm literally just in catalyst waiting room at this point. I guess it would be nice to get some Aspect Crest, so maybe I'll do some keys to start hunting those down. But either way, those are the tanks done. Pretty good loot across the tanks. Unfortunate, I think the Demon Hunter was the worst spot there, but most characters got something reasonable. Let's move on to... All right, we'll just do this in order on the character sheet there, including some names that you may not have seen last week, because they weren't level 70 last week. First, we have my Warlock, which is unfortunately located in Freehold, it looks like, because Freehold was the site of the atrocity committed by this character on my friends. This was it was a tough, I'm willing to admit, it was a tough key. It was a tough key for old Dratno Summon. One problem I ran into was, it was an Afflicted week, and we only had one, we didn't have any DPS that could dispel Afflicted, nor did we have any DPS that did any damage besides one. So, it was a tough key. It was a tough freehold. It was, you can see on the death meter here, yeah, ooh, there was a lot. It's a 40 death run. A little 40 death freehold. But you know what they say? The hardest freeholds often have the greatest vault rewards for those brave enough to achieve them. So, I believe I'm owed a 447 chest piece. Okay, we see a Mammoth Trainer's Drape available here. Now, I also have, the Amos of the Sinister Savant, or a 441 Avoidance chest piece. Well, this upgrades to 437, not 447. Okay, so the question is, do we take a high item level cloak, or do we take Avoidance Tear shoulders, or do we take Avoidance catalyzable chest? I think we can eliminate the chest piece here. My catalyst is going to be fairly, I'm going to be fairly busy catalyzing stuff, so it's either the Tear, which we won't equip right away because we're not going to break old 4-piece, or the 447 cloak. I think I'm not going to bother with the cloak. I don't know, the cloak is nice, but I want to start collecting Tear on this character. This thing is going to be upgradable to, well, I guess the problem is I don't really have any Worm's Crests or any real ambition to ever acquire them on this character, so I'm still going to take the Tear. I don't know, it's just going to take so long for me to get 4-piece if I don't take this Tear. It's so long to get, like, 2-piece as well, so I'll just slam the Tear. It's got Avoidance on it as well. Like, realistically, this thing with 437 and Avoidance, that's going to be a nice item. So well-deserved, not the 447 chest piece we were hoping to see, but, you know, this character is sure to have the luck that my Warlock did not. Now, unlike my Warlock, so my Warlock did 8 out of 9 normal so that it could hold a lockout as well. Hold a normal Sarkareth lockout so we can start just using that for all of our Evokers every week. My Shaman did not do any raid content, so we are purely on the roll of the 1M+ spot here. You can see on the damage meter here that things were much worse. Things were much worse on the Shaman than they were on the Warlock. Now, in my defense, I don't know if this is in my defense or not. A statement that is potentially more damning than saying nothing at all. I did die on every boss fight, so that's why my damage was so low, and I died early into every boss fight. Now, haters will say it's because you only have 300k HP, and that's after I equipped the 431 chest piece that came out of the end of the dungeon, so... Yeah, let's see what we got here. I feel like a nice weapon with a tertiary would be good. Oh, dude, if this had a tertiary. If this had a tertiary on it, that would be something really special. Alright, well, it's not a two-hander, which would have been slightly more efficient to see there for us, but yeah, pretty happy to take a 447 weapon on a character that is wearing otherwise green items. Otherwise some nice explorer gear. Alright. Now you might be thinking, okay, surely it's over. No. No, it's not. It's not over. See, what I did is I tricked several different groups of friends into carrying my rat, or multiple rats in a few cases, to kind of spread out the burden and also avoid any one of them getting too mad at me. So here is a different character. This character did actually get 4th place in damage, so, you know. And it's the same gear as well. This character, this was before it had this Infinite Dragonspire, so we're not actually looking for a weapon on this character. This character looted a weapon from the end of the old demand that it did, and it did more damage than my Shaman. So I think I'm a Shadow Priest. I think I'm better at Shadow Priest than I am at Elemental Shaman, is what this is telling me. Again, if you look at the death meter, yeah, it's not looking good for for old Dratnos Sermon. I renamed as well. This character used to be called the Dratnos, but I thought that was kind of weird and didn't really like it, so... On the, like, Dratnos Shaman and Dratnos Summon, I decided to make Dratnos Sermon the priest. Okay. Loot Spec Shadow. What are we looking for here? Chest piece. I would take 1 chest piece or 1 banger trinket. Alright, a cloak, a verse-heavy cloak. Hard to imagine this is especially good for Shadow, but, you know, verse is going to be good throughout the gearing process, during which time I'm fairly susceptible to being one-shot, so... Yep, we'll put that on. Again, the joys of these vaults where... It's very hard to find a bad item. All right, now we've got my rogue. My rogue is a little bit less of a hard carry than the other ones here, but not much. You know, it's sort of bridging. There's this chasm between the healer and the tank on the damage meters, and my rogue is, you know, intrepidly climbing across that chasm. So you can see here it almost beat the tank in this run, and very easily beat the healer. So at eye level 413. Really starting to ramp here. I also did a normal run, so we could see some nice normal items here as well. Loot Spec is currently Outlaw. I'm actually going to move over to Assassination. I'd like to see a dagger. I don't really want to lock myself into, like, an Outlaw weapon, so... like an axe or a sword or something. Oh! Dragonfire Bomb Dispenser. Leech 447 Pants. Okay. Or Tier Chest Piece. Good golly, this is a decision here. I believe the bomb dispenser is Turbo Durbo Bis for this spec. Again, this could be a these segments aren't even sponsored anymore. I only had to do a minute, but you know, useful site UGG. Take a look at the situation here for the old subtlety rogues in M+. Take a look at the trinket situation. So, okay, yeah, Bomb Dispenser is the most popular trinket, besides Beacon to the Beyond. Beacon is a little bit more popular. Bomb Dispenser is very popular in M+, though. And it's a Raid trinket. Okay, what about in Raid? In Raid, the Bomb Dispenser is actually the most popular in Heroic. How about in Mythic? In Mythic, it's even more popularer. How about for Outlaw? In Outlaw, less parses, of course. Less popular spec, but still Bomb Dispenser showing up a lot. And it's showing up a lot in M+. Alright, so here's the deal. I think I'm going to take this Bomb Dispenser. It upgrades to 437. Tertiary Pants 447 are really compelling. These are really nice. But I already have 415 upgradable to 437 Pants. A Bomb Dispenser, I think, is going to be much harder to replace. So I think I'm going to select this. And, you know... it's hard to imagine that this... Ooh, we got an Underrot 20 as well. That's another nice piece of RNG. That means it's going to be very easy for me to rat my way... Oh, it's Tyrannical Volcanic Sanguine as well? Wow. Okay, next week we may have even equally as many rats getting keys done. But yeah, that's really good. That's going to be a nice upgrade over the Underlight Globe that I was running. Now we just got to upgrade this other globe. Wow, I was on double globe. the double globe build has now been upgraded out of on this character. Okay, so yeah, bomb dispenser. Again, a bit of a rough vault in that there was a lot of stuff I wanted to take there. I've always kind of wanted. Imagine if they made the vault where you could press a button that just took the whole vault, but then like you didn't get a vault for the next like however many items there were. It was just like, okay, you take 4 items out of this vault and now you are in debt, and your next like 4 vault items that would appear don't show up or something. I don't know. Obviously that would be super powerful and, you know, maybe feel really weird and people would like not even earn those vaults, but I'm very I don't know. It feels bad. Okay. Here's my Evoker. Evoker has 447 weapon. I also have a 447 chest piece in the bank waiting to get used. All right. Well, we're going to take this offhand. The reason you take the offhand here and not the 2 tokens of merit, there is an Evoker legendary. There's an Evoker legendary that I might get at some point, right? And if that were to happen, I would like the door to be open to that. So let's just take this 447 Igniter. 2 tokens of merit aren't going to do anything. That's whatever. So, all right, that's my vault's done. This character, hey, and this character actually handily beat the tank. So you can kind of see the stages of evolution of the rat characters, right? You have these characters on my character select screen that have just finished. Actually, here's the first stage of the rat alt, the level 63 character. Then you have these characters that are fighting for the healer on the damage meter. Then you have characters that are fighting with the tank on the damage meter. And then you have characters that are starting to get between the tank and the other DPS. And then eventually, right before the next patch comes out, they start doing almost good damage. And then the new patch comes out and they become rats again. And the cycle continues. And, you know, people stop asking you to do keys. And it's really good. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hope your vaults were good. No promises that next week's will have as many characters as this one. I got lucky to get a lot of extra characters done, and you know, I was in Discord at the right time when people were doing keys and were looking for a 5th or something, so I was able to sneak some rats into stuff where they had no business being. I'm not sure that'll happen again next week, but you know, it's all for the content. All for those dopamine hits and for the video. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Do check out the UGG. Link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe as well. Remember to subscribe on Twitch as well if you got Twitch Prime. See you in the next one. Bye.